Hi, welcome to Let's Cook and Happy Father's Day. I actually wanted to say that in reverse. Happy Father's Day and welcome to Let's Cook. Either way, Father's Day is June 15th. It's Sunday. Did you know it wasn't until, I believe, 1966, it was Lyndon Baines Johnson. He was a president, right? And he said, or he actually signed the proclamation to make the third Sunday in June Father's Day. But it started way back in 1909 in Spokane, Washington. There was a person, he was a father of 6 children. His name was Smart. And his daughter actually started the whole ball rolling for Father's Day. He raised 6 children by himself after his wife died in childbirth. So that's how Father's Day got started. Now, the reason I came up with the locale Father's Day is because in a lot of fathers out there, every once in a while, you know, you want to make something for Father's Day that's really rich, or you know what their favorite food is, but you can also introduce them to different foods that might be a little low-fat or low-cal. So we're doing all fish today. The first item I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a lemon sole, but you can use any flat fish to do this. We're going to poach it and serve it with some vegetables. First thing I'm going to do is I have my pan right here. I'm going to heat up my pan here. And into the pan here, I'm going to start with a minimum amount of olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Let that start to heat up. Into the pan now, I'm going to be using some celery, mushrooms, onions, a little bit of tomato, and also zucchini. Now the zucchini, let's just look at the zucchini here. When you buy zucchini, you see this part right here? You see there where this part is all dried out there? When you buy this in the market, if it looks like that, you might want to stay away from it. But if you just go in here, you're going to see how nice and fresh this is. So a lot of times you can't really tell when you first buy it. The other thing that you want to make sure is that the skin is nice and firm, that when you press into it, it's nice and firm and it's not too spongy because it's already starting to dehydrate. What we'll do with this is we'll just split this in half, and I'll always look at the seeds inside the zucchini here to see how mature they are. Now these happen to be very small, so I'm going to go ahead and use these. I'll just split this down this way, and we'll just go ahead and do not a rough chop, but because this is not going to cook too long, we're just going to cut this into a thin slice here. And all the vegetables go into the pot at the same time. So right into my pan here, which is nice and hot now, I'm going to start with the onions. Once I put the onions in, I'm going to let them cook for roughly about a half a minute. The reason I let them cook for a half a minute is because there's sulfurous properties to the onions. We need to get rid of that. So we're going to let them start to cook a little bit, hit it with a pinch of salt. Then we can just add our zucchini, some sliced mushrooms here, some very small diced celery here. That's great for flavor and also crunch. We're going to let this just start to cook a little bit, let it brown up. So that while that's cooking, we'll get our fish going. Have this beautiful lemon sole right here. Now, to poach this and make it look nice, and we want it to be a little festive for Father's Day, if we have any red here, this is towards the belly of the fish, I'll go ahead and I'll remove that with my knife. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. Then I'll take this and I'm going to make these into a roulade. So I'll start from the small end here. I'll make a little slice right here where the small bones of the fish are. And right here you can actually, I can feel where there's some cartilage left here, some bone left here. So then I'll take this and with my knife I'll just pull it right along where the bone is right there to make sure that we get rid of any of that bone, any of that fishy flavor too. We'll remove this. Now, so that I get 3 nice pieces out of this, I'm going to turn this around at the top side right here. I'll also get rid of this fishy part right here. Then I'll just cut it right down the middle here, but on a little bit of a bias here, and you can see how I'm cutting this. So I'm going to be able to get a roulade out of this, and it'll all look the same. We'll then take our fish, make sure you go all the way through with your knife here. We'll then take this and we'll roll this up. To roll this up, we'll turn it over so that the skin side is up. Have this smaller, the thinner portion closer to you. We'll just take this, we'll start to roll it this way so that we have almost a cornucopia looking piece of fish right here. Just get this started right here. Then we're going to start this and we're going to poach these. Now when we poach these, we're going to poach these in a liquid, but we don't want the liquid boiling. And let me just show you the other thing that I'm going to do. With the skewer now, I'm just going to come through the fish this way on a little bit of an angle to secure it as I cook it. Let me get my other skewer out here. Great. Oops. Let's take a look at our veggies over here. Okay. See what's happening with my veggies now? They're just starting to brown up for me. Beautiful. I'm just going to turn my pan down because I do want some of that caramelization. I want it for color and flavor. Now to start these in a pan, we'll set these up into a pan. I have one more little skewer right here. Good. It's under my cutting board. Here we are. Come over here. We start these in a cold pan. Then into the cold pan here, I'm going to put some thyme and garlic, a little bit of white wine, and also just a little bit of water here. We're going to take these, set these up so that they're simmering. They're going to simmer for about 9 minutes. Now, I already have some that are done right here, and you can see how beautiful they look right here, where they've stayed together. They're nice and white looking. We'll just remove these now. Get these out of the pan. Be very gentle because they're very fragile. We'll remove these. Then we'll take some of this poaching liquid and use it to finish our low-cal lemon sole today. So, to finish it now, I'll just take a little bit of this poaching liquid and I'll add it right to my vegetables here. Just a little bit. Also, for flavor, and we let that reduce down, a little bit of vegetable stock. Then, my tomatoes. All we have to do now is bring this up to a simmer, and this is done. And wait till you see how pretty this looks. So we just bring this up to a simmer. I'm going to set this up on a plate right now. Again, this is very low-cal, very healthy, very good for you, but we'll take our veggies right here onto the plate. And this is also great for the summer, too. In June, you know, the beginning of June when you start to get the great vegetables. And then we just take one of our fish right here. Use a skewer, so you can even pick it up with a skewer. See how it stays right on the skewer here? Just take it, slide it down here, twist the skewer, and gently pull it out. Nice, easy, low-cal lemon sole for Father's Day. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, I'm making salmon en papillote in parchment with chimichurri. Don't go anywhere. We're talking low-cal Father's Day today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to low-cal Father's Day. Now, for the salmon chimichurri en papillote or in parchment paper, first thing we have to do is we have to take some parchment paper and we have to cut it. So take a piece of parchment paper about this size right here, fold it in half, and then either using your knife or scissors, again, this is what makes it a real nice Father's Day item, is we take and we cut a little circle or half circle out of the parchment, and we ended up with a little bit of a heart shape for your father. So we're going to put this on the side because this is what we'll put the salmon in. Next thing, chimichurri sauce is basically a parsley sauce. So what I'm doing here is I have some flat leaf parsley here. I'm just going to put this into my blender. Just get this all in my blender here with about 8 cloves of garlic. Put the blender on right here, and then we're just going to puree this and add the olive oil to it. So the olive oil is going to emulsify, and you can use this as a base for almost anything. Let's get some oil in here, nice and slow. Once it starts to puree, it's going to start right away. The oil's coming out very slow today. Let's see if we can, please, work. I have a faster olive oil right here. There we go. We're just going to let this puree up. You don't want too much oil in there. Again, remember, this is low-cal, where we're going to let this really puree. Season this now with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. You know, I love these machines. I love them so much, but they remind me of when I was a child and somebody would be working the vacuum cleaner and you get that loud pitched noise. So every once in a while I just need to shut this off. But you see how beautiful, nice and bright and green this is? So we're just going to take this now, because this is going to be the baste that we're going to put our fish in. We'll just set this up onto a plate. Doesn't that look great? Again, extremely healthy, loaded with vitamins. Now, the next thing we have to do is we have to get our salmon ready. I have a beautiful North Atlantic salmon right here that I picked up from the market. Now, the first thing that we have to do is we do need to remove the pin bones. The pin bones run right here. If I take my finger and I run it this way, I can expose those pin bones. And I like to buy it with the pin bones intact so that I can pull them out. Just come in this way and you pull out these pin bones. When you pull them out, pull away from the fillet this way. If you try and pull them this way, you're going to tear and you won't be able to get them out. So you always pull away this way. And we want to get all those pin bones out. And I can tell by how hard they are to get out right now, how they're really sticking, that this is an extremely fresh piece of fish. Now, the other thing that I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to remove the skin in this as well. When you go to remove the skin in this, you can use a knife to remove the skin, or you can actually kind of get in a frame of mind and you think of your hand as a knife. And what we'll do is we'll just start it right here with our knife this way. Just cut through to the skin. Now, a lot of people, the one way you're doing it is you're pulling it and you're actually pushing the knife forward, keeping the knife nice and flat, and you're pulling the skin away. You see this part of the salmon right here? Loaded with omega-3. Very good, very hard, healthy. The other thing that you can do is the skin will slip in your fingers here. Hold this skin of the fish with a towel. That way it won't slip away from you. Take your hand, and again, think of your hand as very sharp, and what you do is you just kind of go like this, and you remove the whole skin that way, too. So we can just remove that whole skin this way. Whoops, a little piece stuck right here. You know what happened here? I have to tell you what happened here, why I have this piece of skin right here. What ended up happening is right before we came up, I had a pan on my induction stove right here. In the pan, the induction stove was still a little warm, and the fish actually started to cook there. So that's why we had that little piece left there. Now, what I'm going to do with this now is I'm just going to take my knife right here and cut a small piece of fish right here to serve with my vegetables. The other thing that we have to do, let me just get this fish out of the way here, put these two on top here. This is also something that I'll do a lot of times in the kitchen. If I have my work surface here and it might be something that can contaminate something else, what I'll do is I'll just take my cutting board, have a side towel underneath there, turn it over. That way I have a nice clean space to work on. Okay, now the other thing we have to do is we have to get some vegetables ready for this. What I've done is I've taken these beautiful carrots, leeks, peppers, and tomatoes, and I've just lightly sauteed them with just maybe about a teaspoon of olive oil with just a little water just to soften them. So, and we need to saute those because they're not going to cook long enough in the oven to really cook through. Then take our parchment paper here, a drop, just a drop of olive oil. Spread the olive oil here with a pastry brush so it doesn't stick at all. Then we take our salmon fillet, and what we're going to do is set it up right here, then take a little bit of our chimichurri sauce right here and brush it onto the salmon. This is going to give it great color, great flavor. Then we take our vegetables at the same time, put our vegetables on top here. Now, the whole trick to making a salmon en papillote is a folding process. What we do is we fold it over, then we really flatten out to make sure all of the air is out of it. We start here, we come off on about a 45-degree angle and you make a crease. Hold your thumb here, about the thickness of your thumb, another 45-degree angle. And what you do is you just keep working the fish all the way around this way, and this interlocking fold seals in any air in the fish, and it actually cooks in its own steam. Take this part here, fold this underneath. Now you'll pop this in the oven. It'll take about 8 minutes in the oven. I already have one done right here, and I'll show you how great this looks when you go to present this. I'm going to bring this over here. when you go to present this, you just open up the paper right here. Now look at all the beautiful flavors that came out of the fish here. Then you just kind of pick this up here, and for your father, for his low-cal Father's Day, just slide it right out onto the plate there. Doesn't that look fabulous? And of course, to finish it, it's very nice to take a few lemon slices and serve them on the side this way. It's definitely low-cal Father's Day today on Let's Cook. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, this is a classic dish, sole douglé or douglère, but we're making it low-fat today on Let's Cook for Father's Day. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome to Low-Cal Father's Day. Now, the next item we're doing is, you saw that, right? Very thin here. I used to be able to turn sideways and disappear. Such a terrible joke. But I have a beautiful piece of flounder here. And for this particular dish, instead of poaching this, we're actually going to steam it. But what we're going to do with this sole or flounder, you could use turbot, you could use any flat fish for this, is I'm just going to take and cut 3 strips out of this. Then I'm going to braid this. Because I've cut the 3 strips out of this, and it's thinner at one end, I'll make sure that I adjust these so I start out with 2 thin and 1 thicker, and I end up with the thin one down here. Then what I'll do is, again, my braiding is not perfect, but I'm just going to start to braid these all the way over. See, I always have trouble braiding this. Let me try again. I'm going to try this real fast. And we're just going to go once to the middle, twice to the... Oh, see? Now it's coming. You just kind of have to get into that braiding mode. Then what we'll do is we'll take this, and we're going to bring this into a circle like this. Then we'll take this, season this with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and we're going to steam this. Once it steams, when those proteins coagulate together, they're going to really tighten up. Let's see how this looks right here. See how nice this looks here? Doesn't this look gorgeous? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this right in here now. Well, actually, let me remove the one that I have right there. Just get my little special. You want to be very delicate with this. We just want to come right up underneath here. I'll just take this out. I'll put this one in. I'm going to let this piece steam as well because I need at least 2 of these for Father's Day. One for me and one for any other father out there. We're going to take a little break. Then when we come back, I'll show you how we take this low-cal steamed sole and we make a delicious sauce to go with it. Don't go anywhere. It's low-cal Father's Day today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, happy Father's Day and welcome back to our last segment. Now, I have the sole. I've steamed this. I already had the one steamed. So I'm just going to take this, remove this. Now, again, it's very fragile. We want to remove this. I'll get rid of the lettuce later. And I always steam it on the lettuce because it just helps it stay together. It's much easier to get it off of the bamboo. Remove my bamboo from here as well. Take out this ring. Now you see this great liquid that I have in the bottom? This is all the flavor of the fish. Plus we have the white wine and the clam juice in there. We're going to lightly thicken this. Now, to thicken this, I'm going to use a cornstarch slurry here. Basically, you need about a tablespoon of cornstarch to a cup of liquid that you're going to thicken. The one thing you need to do with cornstarch is you need to dissolve it in cold water before you go to incorporate it. And the great thing about cornstarch is it thickens right away once the product is simmering, and it also cooks off relatively quickly. Normally, this dish, when I've made this in the past, I've used heavy cream and to reduce the heavy cream. But since this is low-fat Father's Day, I'm just going to take my sauce here, add a little bit of the slurry here, and lightly thicken this. See how quickly that thickens up? Beautiful. Now, I'll just take a little bit of tomato here. Again, give it some balance. Some parsley, chives, dill, any herbs that you like. Then, of course, again, you want to be careful with the salt, but I would season this with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Now, if you're at home and it's Father's Day, and you're a father cooking for Father's Day, stand back from the stove and kind of go like that and throw in the seasoning. It feels really good. And if it's Father's Day, hopefully you're not cleaning up, so somebody else is going to take care of that for you. We'll shut our sauce off. Our sauce is now done. Let's get a larger spoon here. I only have 45 seconds to get my sauce here onto this delicious sole, fluke, flounder, halibut. I just mentioned 3 of the different fishes that you can use to make this delicious low-cal Father's Day fish. You know, I want to thank everybody out there for watching Let's Cook, but I especially want to thank the Smart family for starting the Father's Day holiday. Thank you for watching Let's Cook. You have a great day, and all the fathers out there, have a terrific Father's Day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.